morning.
Good morning.
Would you introduce yourself for our guests, please?
My name is Michèle Pierre-Louis. I'm from Haiti, and actually I am the president of a foundation that has been created in 1995. So next year it's going to be 20 years that I work for that foundation. There's been things in between, but I'm still working at that foundation.
What is the name of your foundation, and what is the mission statement?
The foundation's name is Fondation Connaissance et Liberté, Foundation for Knowledge and Liberty. And it's been created, as I said, in '95, and our mission is to empower people. It's to see how we can educate the youth, how we can create a more just society, how we can have Haitian being in solidarity with one another. And we've been working along those lines for the past 19 years.
It sounds like a lot of interesting work, but I would like you to tell our guests, because I know you have had a really interesting and exciting career before this. You were Prime Minister of Haiti from 2008 to 2009.
Yes.
Would you tell us a little bit about what it was like to lead a country?
You know, it's a big challenge to think that you're the head of a government that has 18 ministries and 8 Secretary of States. But the thing is that I started after 4 hurricanes. Actually, I was installed just before 4 hurricanes hit the country and destroyed so much of the infrastructure that was already fragile when the earthquake occurred a few months
So your
ahead.
communications, your transportation, your food supply is already depleted.
Absolutely. All the bridges in the country collapsed. There was no way we could communicate from one geographic department to the other. We had to call on the US and Canada to help us with helicopters to go to the communities that were so badly hit by the hurricane.
You are only the second female prime minister
I was.
to lead Haiti.
Yeah.
How long are the terms there?
Depends. It depends. You know, there is no limit. It's just that you leave or you have to compromise and with Parliament and decide that you don't want to stay anymore, which is what happened to me, because I didn't want. At one point, that was enough. I wanted to go back to my foundation and to teaching, because I also teach at the university. Politics is a very difficult environment. In a country like Haiti, people become paranoid. There is a lot of competition. There is a lot of uncivility. Do you say that in English?
Yes.
And it's not just in Haiti.
It happens here too.
Absolutely. So you have to have your heart really entangled into this kind of very difficult alliances, and I was not prepared for that.
And before we move on from Haiti, I just want to ask you, how are you feeling about Haiti right now? How is Haiti doing?
I think that considering the extent of the disaster, and when you look around, you know, I remember going to New Orleans after Katrina, so many years after Katrina, and in a rich country like the US, seeing that everything that needed still to be addressed, I think it's going to take much longer in Haiti. But at the same time, I'm not among those who criticize constantly. I think that most of the funding that came to Haiti after the earthquake went into humanitarian aid. And that is unfortunate, because we also needed funding to rebuild, you know. Most of the schools, absolutely. I teach at a university that collapsed entirely and killed 99 students, plus teachers, plus people from the administration. And there's been very little funding to rebuild those infrastructures, and even to rebuild the human conditions of people that have been so traumatized by the earthquake. At the same time, I think the government has made some efforts, you know, in trying to rebuild some infrastructure, to rebuild roads, and but we're still a long way. There's still a long way to go. It's going to take much longer than we thought, but I suppose that's the way it is. And in a country that needs so much that is so dependent on foreign aid, which was a big shock for me when I was in government, I must tell you. Anytime you speak about Haiti, you hear it's the poorest country in the hemisphere. Maybe our indicators are still in red, but think about other indicators. I think if we had indicators in creativity and culture, we would probably be at the top. So give us a chance to change those other economic indicators, and you'll be surprised.
So tell me more about your foundation. How will your foundation support the things that you've been saying to me?
Yes. Our foundation was created in '95 and is part of the network of the Open Society Foundations. But we are a national foundation, so we get funding from other donors. We have a major funding from the EU, the European community. We have funding from Canada, we have funding from different other, the French agency. So, as I said, the foundation was created to reinforce capacities, to empower. So we have programs in education, in culture. We have programs in agriculture, in economics. We're creating now a major public park. We have a contract from the government to create a major public park in a poor neighborhood. And you should see how it has transformed the neighborhood. The idea of public space, of having a beautiful place where you can hang out, you can come and study. There are several activities. We have a library program throughout the country, but we have a library in the park. And the government asked us to create an institute for environmental skills and science in the park. So it's a big project. It's the first public park in the city. It's in Port-au-Prince, and we have a contract until 2020 to just make everything work and then surrender it to the authority that will govern it. So I would say, as my closing remarks to you, for the job that you're doing also, you know, help us to make people look at Haiti differently. Let's project a different image of our country. And that's what matters to me. Mettre Haïti à l'honneur, because that's what that country deserves, to be put at a level where people look at it differently than a poor country where people are in misery. It's true, but Haiti cannot be reduced to that image. There is so much more to Haiti.